Gerada from grade 6 SSES. Do you already have a dream of what you want to be? If not, then listen to the story of Rosie Revere, engineer, by Andrea Beatti and illustrated by David Roberts. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lila Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash, or treasures to add to her engineer's stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'll never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair, drooping over one eye, and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser, and some helium pants. The uncle she loved the most was zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head. From parts of a fan as a cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud. But Fred slapped his knee and chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. "I love it," Fred said. "Oh, truly I do." But Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. She stopped the cheese hat on the back of herself, and that day after kept her dreams to herself. And that's how it went until one autumn day. Her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great Aunt Rose was truly a dynamo, who'd worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of things that she had done, and goals she had checked off the list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked at the sky. The only shift still left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dreams. That night, as Rosie lay wide-eyed in her bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat. No, not I. But questions are tricky, and some hold tight. And this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie just knew how to fly. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone. Then hauled her cheese copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The helio cheese copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and rolled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned around to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed as her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, "Oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear. I will never become a great engineer." She turned around to leave, but then great Aunt Rose grabbed a hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close, and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. "Yay! You did it! Hooray! It's a perfect first try! This great flop is over. It's time for the next." Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, and perplexed. I failed, said dear Rosie. It's just made out of trash. Didn't you see it? A cheese copter crashed. Yes, said her great aunt. It crashed. That is true. But first, it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew! Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next. She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure you have is when you quit. They worked till the sun sneaked away to his bed. Aunt Rosie tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile in ear to ear to dream the bold dreams of the great engineer. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohies too, which each perfect failure they stand all cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. The lesson of this story is, life might be full of failures, but that is not it. The only true failure is when you quit.